Welcome to Carrick United Analysis. Welcome everyone. A huge welcome to every person reading this today. Whether you have been part of the Carrick United Analysis community for years, or this is literally the first post of ours you have ever come across, we are genuinely glad you are here. This is where United fans come for honest, no-nonsense, properly informed content about Manchester United Football Club. If you are not already subscribed to the Carrick United Analysis YouTube channel, go and do that right now before you read another word. We are one of the most trusted Manchester United channels on the internet. We do not chase clicks with made-up stories. We do not hype things that have no substance. We give you real analysis, real transfer information, and real opinions from people who genuinely love this club. Go and subscribe to Carrick United Analysis on YouTube and make it your #1 source for United news. Thousands of Red Devils fans already trust us every single week, and we would love you to be part of that family. Now let us talk about the transfer story that simply will not go away. The deal that should have been done already. The player United have wanted for almost a year. And the question every United fan is asking right now heading into this summer window. When does this finally get done? Here is the honest question every United fan needs answered right now. How many times can one transfer saga fall apart before it finally reaches a conclusion? Because the Carlos Baleba situation has been going on for close to a year now. The interest is real. The player wants to come. Personal terms have been discussed. And yet here we are, still talking about it, still waiting, still wondering whether this is the summer United finally get their man. The latest information tells us that Manchester United have maintained their long-standing interest in Brighton midfielder Carlos Baleba. Personal terms have previously been discussed and the player is genuinely keen on making the move. But negotiations have stalled again and again over Brighton's massive valuation. Brighton previously demanded upwards of £100 million. United are now exploring whether a reduced fee is possible after what has been a more inconsistent season from the Cameroonian midfielder. So the story is alive. It is moving. And it matters enormously for what United can do next season in the middle of the park. Let us break down everything you need to know. Who is Carlos Baleba and why does United want him so badly? Before we get deep into the transfer side of things, let us make sure everyone reading this properly understands who Carlos Baleba is as a footballer. Because if you are going to have a real opinion on whether United should be pushing hard to sign him, you need to know what kind of player he actually is. Baleba is a 22-year-old Cameroonian defensive midfielder playing for Brighton and Hove Albion. He was born on January 3, 2004, which means he is still very young with his best years completely ahead of him. He joined Brighton in August 2023 from Lille for around €27 million, and he has grown significantly as a player since arriving in England. In his first full season at Brighton, he made 37 appearances in all competitions and immediately caught the eye with his energy, his ability to win the ball back, and his composure when playing out under pressure. He is the kind of defensive midfielder who makes a team tick. He does not just sit and defend. He covers ground relentlessly, anticipates where the ball is going, and once he wins possession he plays forward quickly and intelligently. In the 2024 to 2025 season, he was one of Brighton's most consistent performers, winning the club's Young Player of the Season award. That kind of recognition from within the club tells you something. It tells you the people watching him every single day in training and in games believe he is genuinely special. For Ruben Amorim and Manchester United, Baleba represents exactly what has been missing in the middle of the park. A player who can protect the backline properly. A player who can press aggressively and win the ball in dangerous areas. A player who can set the tempo of the game and allow the more creative players around him to express themselves. United have needed that kind of midfielder for too long now, and Baleba ticks every box. Do you think United's midfield has been the biggest problem position this season? Because most United fans we speak to would say yes. Tell us what you think in the comments. The saga so far. How did we get here? The story of United's pursuit of Baleba is one of the more frustrating sagas in recent United transfer history. And understanding how it has unfolded tells you a lot about where things might go this summer. United's serious interest in Baleba began building through the summer of 2025. Transfer insiders including Fabrizio Romano confirmed that United viewed Baleba as a priority midfield target. And crucially, things progressed quickly on the personal terms side. Reports confirmed that personal terms were verbally agreed between United and Baleba during August 2025. The player committed in his own mind. He wanted Old Trafford. But then came the obstacle that has defined this whole story. Brighton demanded a fee in excess of £100 million to let Baleba leave. Some reports put the figure as high as €115 million. To put that in perspective, that is close to what Chelsea paid for Moises Caicedo, one of the most expensive midfield transfers English football has ever seen. Brighton were essentially saying Baleba is worth as much as one of the most celebrated midfielders in the Premier League at the peak of his powers. United, who had already committed heavily in that window on Benjamin Sesko, Brian Bumo, Mateus Cunha, and Sen Lamens in attacking areas, simply did not have the money available to meet that demand. The deal collapsed. Baleba stayed at Brighton, and United went into the new season with a midfield that still needed proper investment. That collapse hit Baleba hard personally. Reports noted that the failed transfer took a real toll on him. He struggled to show the form and midfield command that had made United so keen in the first place. He looked a little lost at times. The psychological weight of coming so close to a life-changing move and then watching it fall apart at the last minute is genuinely difficult for any young player to handle. And that dip in form is now one of the key factors in how this summer transfer story is developing. Did you follow this story closely during last summer? Or is this the first time you are getting the full picture of what happened? Let us know. The fee question. Where things stand right now. Here is the most important part of the current situation and the biggest reason why United fans should be paying close attention this summer. Brighton's valuation has come down. Not all the way to where United need it to be, but it has moved. According to reports, there is now some internal acknowledgement at Brighton that a slightly reduced fee could be accepted. Any realistic deal would still need to exceed £70 million according to well-placed sources. But that is a meaningful drop from the £100 million plus that was being demanded last summer. Why has Brighton moved? A few reasons. First, Baleba's form has been inconsistent this season. He has had injury problems including a knee issue that kept him out during the early part of the season and a hamstring problem in December. 0 goals, 0 assists in the Premier League this season. His average match rating has dropped compared to his outstanding previous campaign. When a player's form dips and their market value falls with it, a selling club has to adjust their expectations or risk holding out for a number that no one will pay. Second, Brighton know that Baleba has his heart set on leaving for United. Managing a player who is mentally focused on a move to another club is never easy. The longer that situation drags on, the more it can become a distraction for the player and for the squad around him. Third, the summer transfer window brings its own pressure. Either you sell now at a realistic price or you go into another season with the same unresolved situation, a player whose contract is ticking down, and the risk that his value falls even further. Brighton are smart people. They will understand the logic here. And the shift in their position from £100 million to somewhere above £70 million is the first sign that they are willing to engage seriously this summer. Is £70 million the right price for Baleba after this season? Or do you think United should push for something even lower given the form concerns? This is the key debate right now. The player is still pushing for the move. One thing that has not changed at all through everything that has happened is Baleba's own desire to join United. He agreed personal terms in August 2025. He was ready to go. And even after the deal fell apart, even after a difficult season where he has not been at his best, he has not changed his mind about where he wants to be. Reports confirm that Baleba remains open to completing a move to Old Trafford and is understood to still be keen on making it happen. He wants to play under Amorim. He wants to compete at the biggest level. And he wants to be part of what United are building under their new manager. That loyalty to the idea of coming to United matters. It means that when United approach this summer's negotiations, they are not starting from scratch. The groundwork has been done on the personal terms side. If the clubs can agree a fee, the deal can move very quickly because there is no uncertainty about what the player wants. For United, that is a genuinely useful position to be in. The hardest part of any transfer is often convincing the player. In this case, United already have him convinced. They just need to convince Brighton to sell at a realistic number. What Amorim needs and why Baleba fits. Ruben Amorim has been clear about what he needs in midfield. His system is demanding. He needs players who can press for 90 minutes, who understand tactical structure deeply, who can win the ball back quickly, and who can play forward with purpose once they have it. Those qualities are not easy to find in one player, but Baleba has them. His energy levels are exceptional. He covers enormous amounts of ground in games. He reads the game intelligently enough to be in the right position to win the ball rather than always having to chase it. And when he has the ball, he is not a player who passes it sideways to safety. He looks to drive things forward. He looks to play the team into better positions. Amorim has a creative group of players ahead of his midfield. He needs someone in the engine room who does the work that allows those players to express themselves. Someone who protects the defense and fuels the attack at the same time. That is exactly what Baleba is when he is at his best. The fact that Amorim has kept Baleba at the top of his midfield wishlist even after a difficult season from the player tells you how strongly the manager believes in what he can offer. That is not the attitude of a manager who is uncertain. That is a manager who knows what he wants and is determined to get it. The risk United take if they wait too long. Here is something United fans need to think about carefully. The risk of this deal not getting done this summer is not zero. Brighton have moved their valuation, but they have not thrown the door wide open. If United come in with an offer that is significantly below what Brighton will accept, the negotiations will stall again. And if they stall again, what happens next? Other clubs come in. There will be other clubs watching Baleba. A young Cameroonian defensive midfielder with Premier League experience who has shown the kind of quality Baleba has shown at his best is exactly the kind of player that clubs across Europe will be monitoring. If United are seen to be hesitating or unable to get a deal done, another club could step in and offer Brighton what they need. And then United lose Baleba not just for this summer but potentially for good. United have already learned this lesson the hard way. They missed out on Baleba last summer because they could not meet Brighton's asking price. They cannot afford to let the same thing happen again. Especially not now that Brighton have shown some flexibility and the player is still committed to the idea of coming. This summer is the window. Not next January. Not next summer. This window. United need to act decisively and get this done. Final thoughts. The Carlos Baleba story is one of the most important transfer conversations happening around Manchester United right now. A player United have wanted for a year. A player whose desire to come to Old Trafford has never wavered. A valuation dispute that blocked everything last summer but has now started to move in the right direction. All the pieces are there for this deal to finally happen. Brighton have adjusted their expectations. The player is still pushing for the move. Amorim knows exactly why he wants him and how he will fit into the system. And United go into the summer with a clear need in midfield that Baleba addresses directly. The fee will not be small. Somewhere above £70 million is where this deal gets done based on current reports. But for a 22-year-old midfielder with the qualities, the experience, and the years ahead of him that Baleba has, that is a fee that makes sense for a club with United's ambitions. Get this deal done. Get Baleba to Old Trafford. And give Amorim the midfielder his system has been crying out for. Thank you for following this on Carrick United Analysis. Every single one of you who reads our content, watches our videos, and joins the conversation makes this community what it is. We are here every week with everything that matters to United fans. For the most honest and most trusted United content on the internet, please go and subscribe to the Carrick United Analysis YouTube channel right now. Now tell us in the comments, do you think United finally get Baleba done this summer? And what fee do you think is fair for where he is right now? This is your community. Let us hear your thoughts. We are United, and this summer we need to get it right. See you in the next one on Carrick United Analysis.